So I'm so happy to be here today. Thanks for letting me talk to you about this exciting milestone for Ariel Property Advisors.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. I'm excited to be here with you, and we share swimming, so I love that about you.
So we'll just swim right in.
Yes, let's do it.
So congratulations on the 15th anniversary of the company. Can you tell me a little bit about what's the origin story? Where does Ariel Property Advisors come from?
Yeah, so it's a super exciting story. I started my career in 2002, and I started it at a company that everybody knows called Massey Knackle Realty, and 2 years later became a partner in that company and helped build it. But what was more interesting to me personally is that I managed to meet some incredible people. I managed to meet Victor Sozio, who started with me back at Massey and today is a founding partner at Ariel. Ivan Petrovich, who is also a founding partner at Ariel and started with me back at Massey. And Mike Tortorici, who is also a founding partner at Ariel. All of us grew within that great system, organized system. And one of the things we did is to make sure that the information we have at the time for Upper Manhattan, the Bronx, is the best information that there is in the industry. If you remember the early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of information, right?
No.
And
If you weren't in Midtown, you were off the map, really.
and here you go. And so if you were focusing on information in Upper Manhattan, the Bronx, you were pretty much the number one broker, advisor, information agent for that area. And we felt within time that we can do more than just Upper Manhattan, the Bronx, which was our territory. And we felt that we can centralize the company around that information and take it to the next level citywide. And that's exactly what we did in January 10th of 2011, which was a great day for us to start and was right after the global financial crisis. We started recovering from that. I remember these few days going with all of my partners into a new office space and starting it out and trying to get listings and so on. And here we are today, 65 people after, 7 partners. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. Are there some milestones over those 15 years that you're especially proud of, or highlights from this time that you look back on and say that was a turning point?
I think that for us, it's the people that we got in, right? It's all about the people. So Vic, Mike, Ivan, and myself clearly are the founding partners. But then we had Paul McCormick join us back in about 2014 or so. And his role was to build capital services, so start a business line for us. And he did that so well that now he manages all of our salespeople and he's a partner in the company. The second person that came in and became a partner is Sean Kelly. He's done tremendously well in Brooklyn and over time became a partner as well. And the third partner is Aviva Viad, who is our CFO. And so all of these people are leaders in the company in addition to, again, Vic, Mike, and Ivan and myself. And that is the basis to every growth we have. We have some senior directors. We have some directors that we're very proud of. And so when I look at milestones, it's about the people. And it's about what we built in terms of career progression. And so we have a career progression that says you come in as an associate, here's how you can become a partner in the company. Here's how you can own a piece of the company. And so these are the milestones that I see as super important. And then it's clearly about the clientele that grew with us. It's about the focus. It's about the different verticals. It's about affordable housing, understanding rent-stabilized housing, understanding development, understanding faith-based organizations, understanding capital markets, and understanding how to finance deals today, both locally, nationally, and even internationally. But the milestones are the people.
I want to ask a little bit about this thread of good information, right? The idea that you started with at the company that everyone remembers, Massey Knackle. and what you've done with it, because you regularly track the markets and share market intelligence with your customers, with your competitors, with media, with everyone. Tell me a little bit about the role that information plays in your company, how you use it, why you share it so freely, and why it makes you different.
So one of the things that I mentioned before is that we have the advisory first approach. And one of
Yeah.
the things we did, right, to unsilo everything is we put all of our information in the middle of the office, so to speak, in our case, in a Salesforce database that we've created for ourselves. And the 35 plus minus people that work with us are on the support and analysis side are all about that.
Okay.
Now, one of the things you have to remember is that we have 15 years of information and 30 reports that we're producing year over year. I don't think anybody in New York City has that data. You know what? Artificial intelligence, which is one of our strategic objectives in the past 2 years, is now helping us connect so many dots to that information in a different way. So in a year or two, what you'll see from Ariel Property Advisors is a tremendously deeper analysis for our clients and for the market. We're able to do that because one of my partners, my founding partners, Ivan Petrovic, is actually lives in Serbia, in Belgrade. So the 25 people that sit at Ariel in Belgrade are fully integrated, offshore integration into Ariel's operations.
Wow.
Culturally, not physically, mentally. By the way, it helped us a lot during COVID because we were already interacting online anyway.
Yeah.
And that is a great edge for us. That information is a fantastic edge for us, is something that our clients crave. It's something that the market craves. You asked before about sharing that information with the market.
Yeah.
We do. And
do.
we do, and we share it with reporters. We share it with our competition. They can take that information. They don't necessarily have the ability to understand exactly how everything is done, but we are okay sharing it because we think it's for the greater good, and I think it helps the whole industry.
Can you talk a little bit about the events you have? They tend to be a really big draw. You read about them, you hear about them, everybody wants to go to them. Can you tell a little bit about, in your 15-year trajectory, how they've grown? Coffee and Cap Rates, they're called.
Thank you. So Coffee and Cap Rates is an event that we hold twice a year. And the goal for Coffee and Cap Rates from a company's perspective was to bring all of these 30 reports to the front and to show the world how information at Ariel works in terms of the reports themselves, in terms of a very quick analysis of the market that we provide, and also bring players that can talk about the market in addition to the reports. And all of that within Coffee and Cap Rates is going back to empowering people and clients and also communities. And one of the things we do is we support and invest in a nonprofit called Legal Outreach. TD Bank actually helps us with that. And together we put a great event together. We charge people money, which they gladly pay, because 100% of that money plus a match goes to legal outreach. So it's holistically one of the best things that Ariel Property Advisors does from a mission perspective. So that's Coffee and Cap Rates. It's twice a year, February and July, and it's a culmination of a tremendous amount of information and thought leadership that we have.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them, and there's hundreds of people and not an empty seat in the room. So it's a pretty big draw.
It grew. It used to be 50, then 70, then 150. Now it's like north of 300 people. There's, so we might need bigger space.
Madison Square Garden next,
Yes.
maybe. As we talk about the company's culture and go back to that a little bit, can you talk about your kind of ideas about social leadership and the role that Ariel plays in that, and how you collaborate and how your team comes together around that value?
Yes, absolutely. This is a major pillar in our company's values. And one of the things that is definitely in the mission statement itself, we call it local leadership. So every Monday morning we talk about it. What events were you at? What kind of nonprofit are you involved with? And we make sure that part of the business plan of people is to be involved in either a nonprofit or a professional organization regularly. So I sit on several boards. I was just honored by the Israeli bonds. I do a lot of stuff that's related to Israel, and because I'm from there and I love the country. And Belev Echad and FIDF and others, my partners do different things. My partner, Mike Tortorici, is involved in several organizations, including the Inner City for Catholic Kids, which we go every single year to. My partner, Victor Sozio, is involved in different things, including sitting on the board of NISAFA. My partner, Sean Kelly, has different golf outings that he's going to for charity. My partner, Ivan, is doing other things related to Serbia, for example. So each one of us, as a partnership, goes to at least several events or sits on several boards because we think it's important. But it's not just the partners. It's each and every one of our team members. As junior or as senior they are, they're involved and they're doing something. And guess what? They're also giving money and we'll match it. And so that is part of the culture. That is part of trying to be more than just who you are, but just think about the outside world consistently because it's hard. We're human beings. But it plays dividends in the culture in general moving forward.
This makes a lot of sense. I recently saw that Globe Street, which is the national media platform for commercial real estate, ranked Ariel as one of the best commercial real estate companies to work for in the nation, which is a great accolade. How do you think you made that list? Like, what is it about working at Ariel that's so terrific?
It's the company culture, right? And it starts with the mission I mentioned before. And the core values. The best core value, the number one core value is one team, right? So we work on being one team, being accountable, committed, having personal growth as well, and being innovative. But these are the core values and the culture that we develop. Now, when you say culture, it's a big word. Right? So you really have to, what you want to do is work it every single day. And so make sure that people work together, that if there are any frictions in the working together, bring people together to a meeting, talk about what everybody's role is. Make it a nurturing environment. That's super critical. Our database, for example, is open. So we work on Salesforce and we have, again, 35 people working on the support side. But everybody is open to the same database. Everybody can see what everybody's doing. We broke the silos. So if you like to work in an environment that supports you, in a competitive environment that supports you, this is your place. And I think a lot of people in our industry don't know what it means not to work not in a silo or in a silo. Right?
No,
so it's all
that's the
siloed.
traditional model.
Yes. And we're breaking that traditional model. And so going back to culture, the people we're looking for are these 2 to 5 year people in the business that don't feel they can progress. And what we can do for them, right? We can partner up with them in the best possible way. Think about it. If you're 3 years in the business and you're coming in, you have 65 people supporting you. To grow your business with no internal competition, but with a tremendous amount of internal encouragement. So that's what we're building.
Wow, it really is a different model.
Yes. That's what we wanted to do from the get-go. We saw that as an opportunity intuitively. And I think if you look at the partners or if you talk to each one of my partners or our partners at Ariel, you will see that each one of us wants to live in a supportive environment.
Right.
It's so important, right? I mean, I want to go to work and fight with someone and fight with someone for a client's benefit and not fight with someone internally.
Right.
That's really what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
And I want to provide that person who's super talented. If we attract talent, if we find someone who's super talented in something, we want to make sure that we squeeze their potential as much as we can
Yes.
for their benefit. So that's what we do.
It's great.
Yeah, thank you.
So armed with this history and this very powerful and unusual kind of mold-breaking culture, let's drill down into this year, 2025. Can you tell me a little bit about where the company is today and what some of the accomplishments are as you look back on the full year that really stand out to you?
It's a great question. And I was reflecting a little bit about this year. And people ask you about a year. Like when you're a publicly traded company, they ask you about a quarter and they want to look at you. And if you really want to drill down into a company, it's not about the year, right? It's about what happened in the past 3 years. Okay. And so in 2022, we had a good year. 2023 and 4 were tough. Why? Because interest rates went up, transactions stopped, both on capital services and investment sales. So what do you do during that time? You talk to your clients. You advise your clients. You hold their hand. You think with them about possibilities and opportunities. And guess what happens in 2025? Opens up and you're there to catch it.
Yes,
And
you're
not
transacting.
because you're a catcher, man, it's because you've developed these relationships. So 2025 was a great year for us. And it was good because we transacted a lot of the development sites that were sitting there waiting for a housing policy to happen, which happened thanks to Mayor Adams
Yes.
and thanks to the state that put some forms of rezoning and City of Yes and 485X, not perfect, but still, and 467M for office conversions. We benefited from that. A tremendous amount of work we've done in Brooklyn and throughout. We've been benefiting from our capital services growth in a big way. One of the things we've seen is deals that we haven't done before, like office conversion financing or hotel financing that took place this year. And lastly, affordable housing, rent stabilized, and faith-based organizations.
Yeah.
We've grew a lot on that. On the bigger deals, we've sold an $88 million deal to Treadway, and Related was the client. And we've done a lot of faith-based sales as well. And lastly, our partnership with Global Real Estate Advisors, which is another national outfit, a strategic alliance that we've created, started bearing fruits in collaboration with our capital services group, where and in addition to that, in affordable housing as well. So this is the culmination of several years, and I would say 15 years in the making of Ariel. And frankly, to the credit of all of the founding partners that have been together for more than 20 years. And so that's what I attribute that to. And I think that next year and the year after, to me, are going to be a lot more exciting because we're starting to see people talking to us to come in that we haven't seen before. There's number 2s and 3s in different bigger teams or operations that are coming to us and talking to us because they don't see the growth where they are, and they see us as a platform that can nurture their growth.
So let's talk about 26 and 27 a little bit. Is there anything that you're really planning for? Any areas of the business that are going to be a special focus? Anything that you're anticipating in the coming years?
Yeah, so I think a lot of what we're seeing in the market today from a development perspective will continue and be even stronger. From a free market, multifamily continue and be stronger. We think interest rates will come down a bit and rents will keep climbing. Rent stabilized housing has been a challenge for many different reasons, including regulation. So that's going to continue to be a challenge and an opportunity for us to help clients and lenders get rid of properties. Affordable housing will strengthen, we believe, this year. We'll continue to do a lot of work there. And so, in terms of the market in general, I'm very optimistic that volume of transactions will continue to grow, which for us as intermediaries means continued growth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our capital services group will probably get to another level. We've hired a few really good people recently, in addition to the senior brokers that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be not just New York City, but also nationwide, together with GREA. So we're doing that, and that's an exciting moment. And I think the most exciting moment for us as Ariel is the hiring expansion that we're planning.
Hmm.
Again, not very methodically, very strategically, but we're feeling that we can add real accretive professionals into the platform. And if that happens, or when that happens, we're going to be in a different place for our clients in a year.
Tell me a little bit more about GREA and the role that that plays for Ariel and the role that you play within that company, because I do understand kind of the need to affiliate with best in class in markets around the country so you can serve your customers no matter where they are and where they want to be. How did you come to GREA, and tell me a little bit more about that relationship?
Sure. So GREA, Global Real Estate Advisors, essentially 6 offices around the country covering about 12 markets.
Mm-hmm.
We are Real Property Advisors that is a part of GREA, are doing pretty much every product type that other offices do, mostly multi-family.
Okay.
We got to know them through one of their partners in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
We love the concept. We stay independent, autonomous, but we have that plug into the national platform.
Mm-hmm.
And we can help that platform, and that platform can help us in a few different ways. Number one, we're proficient in debt and equity placement,
Mm-hmm.
and we can help each one of their offices to execute on debt placements for the clients and share fees and advise in the biggest
Mm-hmm.
possible way. And that started to take place this year in a big way.
Oh, that's
A
great.
big portion of our business comes from that, and everybody on the platform benefits.
Hmm.
The second is affordable housing. We have expertise in that. And in fact, one of my partners, Victor Sozio, is heading that effort with another person from GREA on a national scale. And that's starting to take shape. So we're going to start seeing some deals in general through GREA that are affordable housing deal nationwide. Thirdly, national accounts. Myself and another partner at GREA are heading that, making sure that we have access not just to the local players here, but also to their national counterparties, so they understand we can give them a more holistic national solution when it comes to either investment sales or capital services. And lastly, we have an edge in operations. We also have an overseas operations for our support and analysis. And that is a value add that we can contribute from a best practices perspective to the platform. So that platform, GREA, allows Ariel to grow in a
Mm-hmm.
much more significant way, and at the same time allows GREA and their offices to benefit from what we offer. And so it's a real great collaboration.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So let's go from the national to the local. Let's talk a little bit about New York City, because I do remember the headlines a few years ago about how, no one is going to come back to the office. New York City is going to be emptied out. And you hear, you read these headlines and then you walk around the city and it's packed. Tell me a little bit about your experience now. You said there are new people coming into the market. There are existing clients who are coming back to the market in a more forceful way. What's your kind of forecast for our industry in New York City?
Generally speaking, optimistic. So you have to be very careful when you hear me speak.
Yes.
But I think that what we see in the market in what you described is specifically about the office market.
Yes, a little bit about being in town and feeling people, that energy that you really do get from when the buildings are full and
Yes.
almost vibrating.
Yes, and there's a tremendous competition. If you look at transactions today in the Class A or Class A plus office,
Yeah.
they're happening in a much bigger way. In fact, I think they grew by 25% year over year, and by that the year before. The reason is investors are seeking the higher rent per foot
Yeah.
that top tenants are willing to pay. The average rent per foot for Class A is about 85. The average rent for Class A plus is above 100.
Yeah.
We know that there's a building on 57th Street where the office penthouse is asking more than $300 per square foot.
Yes.
So there is a lot of demand and depth for that and not enough supply. That also trickles down to the B and C class,
Yes.
more so the B than the C. We're in the market now to look for office space, for example, and it's harder than what we expected, or it's different than it was a year ago.
Sure.
Right? And so these are the things that we're seeing, and it's because of demand.
Yes.
You look at restaurants and retail and foot traffic, it's hard to walk sometimes
Yes.
in a great way.
Yes.
Or it's hard to book a place in a restaurant for lunch or dinner. Try to do that. I was sitting yesterday for dinner near Chelsea Market in one of the restaurants, which is great.
Yeah.
I had a reservation for 12 at 12:05. Everything was full. I was surprised. So a lot of good things happening
Yeah.
in New York City. When you look at demand from a residential perspective,
Yes.
and you do the surveys of colleges, a big portion of all graduates want to be here. And that pushes free market rents up, which will continue to happen. The flip side of it is, or the reason for it is because of the consistent, persistent undersupply of housing in
Yes.
New York City. If you want to lower the rents, just produce more, change the 485X, do things that will help. So again, Adams and Hochul did a lot. It's not enough, but they did a lot. And lastly, when it comes to rent stabilized, we really need a reform there. HSTPA is something that needs to go away. The city and state need to sit down together and think about whether to help landlords convert these buildings into affordable housing, provide subsidies, tax breaks, provide pathways to make it profitable and
Yes.
to cater to affordable housing, not just rent stabilized, not affordable housing, and or provide incentives, private incentives to reinvest in these buildings and grow rents. They need to do something before these buildings fall apart.
Yeah.
And so I think going back to your question about 2026, again, very optimistic, very optimistic. Regulation is the biggest risk in the city. That's the one thing that keeps concerning us and investors. Everything else, meaning demand is there, and a lot of good things are happening.
You were saying some new people are coming into the market. In your view, can you kind of describe a little bit about who we might see as some of the bigger transactors or some new players because over time there's different trends about, I remember when, what investors from Japan were the biggest thing that was in New York. I don't know if there's any overlying trend or anything that you see, but can you describe it a little bit?
Funny that you mentioned Japan because they're here.
They're back.
Yeah. There are investors from Japan here. There are a good handful amount of countries that are here to invest. What happens in New York City is every time there's a certain downturn or concern, people start looking in, and some of them, probably the most of them don't do anything. Some of them are leaning in. So Japan is one example. Israel is another. Germany is another. There are a lot of different sovereign wealth funds and private individuals and family offices from overseas who want to be here. And they come here in different iterations.
Okay.
They come here, they establish some operations and buy, or they bring their equity through local partners and buy, or they go, if they're really big, they go through known entities like SL Green and buy a portion of One Vanderbilt,
Right.
and so on. So that's one aspect of it. The other are national investors that see New York City as an opportunity today. If you go to the Sunbelt markets, you get a lower cap rate than New York City today in many cases
Wow.
because everything there is the opposite of New York City. The supply is huge. There's not
Yeah.
enough demand. And so they overbuilt. I mean, I wish we overbuilt in New York City, right? Prices
Yeah.
will come down. And so the cap rates are lower in general. And here in New York City, cap rates are higher. So they're
Right.
looking into that as well. So that's national players. And there are current people that own real estate here that want to increase their holdings because they see this as an opportunity. So they might have been very quiet for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and suddenly they see something that they haven't seen in a long time in terms of opportunity and growth,
Hmm.
and they're willing to invest. The reason for that is because we are in a very opportunistic time. If you look at free market multifamily, for example,
Yeah.
it is still about 20% price per foot below peak, which was in 2015.
Huh.
But it did grow pricing wise year over year. So we're in a growth mode, but we're still 10 years below what we were in 2015. More or less same story with Class A office. Fundamentals are better, interest rates are higher, but we're still below peak
Yeah.
and we're growing. So that's the opportunity, and I think we'll continue to see that.
Just like kind of looking at that and coming back to Ariel, can you tell me how the company is poised to take advantage of this market or to be of service in this specific market?
Sure. So for us, it starts with advisory, as I said,
Yeah.
and the advisory starts a lot of times with valuations and with understanding each asset and how investors are looking at these assets. So that's where we start. So when we go and try to evaluate a portfolio of buildings or just a big building,
Yeah.
we're looking at where the market is, where are the rents compared to market, where are the expenses compared to market, what can be done here, where's the value add, and try to think about it as if we are investing it. Not because we're investing in it, but because our people talk to dozens and dozens of people a day and can connect the dots about what investors really look like or what investors really look for when they look at an asset, right?
Yeah.
And then how would that be priced in the market? And what can we do to position that asset in the best way in the market when we speak with these investors? So that's how Ariel, at the end of the day, adds the most value. And if you go sell $100 million asset, guess what? You sell it once.
Yes.
You might as well get the extra 10, 15, 20% that you can at a premium if you run it a methodical, smart process. And that's what we do.
Sounds like you're really well poised for a new era, for another 15 years.
Yes.
So I've really enjoyed speaking with you and learning so much about the company. And congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roxanne, for being here. Thank you for the interview. We love working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I love working with you too. Thanks.
Thank you.